Toastmasters Club. There'll be a wealth of knowledge that you will gain from this meeting. And also, you'll get an opportunity to learn about the inner workings of Toastmasters if you're a guest. We like to start all of our meetings by reading the mission statement of the Redwood Ashburn Overcomers Club, and that is the mission of the Redwood Ashburn Overcomers WAO Toastmasters Club 771-880 is to provide a support and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. So as you can see, you will gain a tremendous amount by participating in a WAO Toastmasters meeting. Before I introduce our esteemed president, what I'd like to do is go over a couple of announcements. We generally like to include our WAO members in most everything we do, and we would be providing our banner to the district, the district for the upcoming event coming up in April. So we would like for people to stick around if you can at the end of the meeting so that we could get a picture of yourself along with a banner. In addition, on March 20th, women of the Redwood Ashburn Overcomers will be having a gala social from 5 to 7. So feel free to participate in that. I'm sure you'll be getting other information. I actually believe I saw an email earlier this week indicating that. At this point in time, I'd like to introduce you to our esteemed president of the Redwood Ashburn Overcomers, Valerie Lyons.
Thank you, Mr. Sergeant at Arms. Good morning, everyone. Listen, I got up this morning and put on some good hair and put on a nice t-shirt. I want to see all of your beautiful faces. I don't want to see these names. Let me see your faces. There, see. I knew if I just said that and Volin told you what to do, you would do it. I just love this club, don't you? Good morning. Welcome all of our Toastmasters, our wonderful guests. I'm happy to see all of you, so I'm not just talking to myself. Thank you for being here. Shanitha is here. Anna is here. Let me see if I can pronounce this name. Gayatri Reddy is here. Emily is here. Don is here. Erin is here. Okay, the gang is all here. We are all ready. Welcome to the WAO Toastmasters Club, where we reach, inspire, support, and engage. Now, I would read the entire Toastmaster promise, but we have plenty of things to do, so I think I'll go to a couple of things. So part of the Toastmaster promise, as a member of Toastmaster International and my club, I promise to attend meetings regularly, to serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so, to treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and courtesy. Put a little Aretha Franklin in there. Thank you, everyone, again for being here. I'm so glad you get to spend your Saturday with us. What other way could you possibly have fun than to have fun with us? Now, today, I would like to introduce a wonderful person. If you don't have you a Cassandra Lee, you better get one. Cassandra is a wonderful human being, a great teacher, great mentor, and somebody you want to follow. She is the reason why I joined this club when I heard her voice. Now, when you hear this voice, you'll see why I joined this club. So I want to introduce to you our Toastmaster for the day, Diva of Dialogue Lee, Cassandra Lee.
Why, thank you so much, Madam President. Thank you. I know you always bring us the energy. That heart is for you. You are so right. We do have a lot that we're doing today. And to all of our guests, we want to welcome you to our special virtual open house meeting that is sharing a base camp demonstration. I say we have a lot going on in one meeting today. And for all of our guests, feel free to chime in with any questions or any comments. As a matter of fact, as we have a few more moments as people are actually coming in, yes, if you can do us a favor, inside of the chat box, let us know either what club you belong to or even who invited you to come out and be with us today. Members, as our guests are putting their comments inside of the chat box, I want you to take notice of those. And also for our members who are on the agenda for the day, I'm of course giving you a few extra moments to stall a little bit. And speaking of stalling, hey Jerome, did that attachment that I sent to you, that worked out perfect? I see that. Awesome. Hey, hey. And actually, L. Karen, I see that you're from Uptown, you're from Oklahoma, you're from 627, you're the VPE. Hey, I think you and I have actually spoken via email a few times, thanks to Becky. So it's good to see you, L. Karen, in the house. Good. And look at that. Is it Gaia? No, I'm not as good as my president. Go ahead and unmute. Good tire. Is it no? Say it for me because I'm stumbling.
Gayatri.
Gayatri.
I know. It's a tough one. Gayatri.
Gayatri. Okay, good. Gayatri. I love that. Thank you for pronouncing that for me. And you see, I'm not afraid to stumble and bumble. I also love being able to make certain I call everyone what their mama named them. So Gayatri, thank you for letting us know that you were invited by Sharon Giles. I see Sharon Giles has a lot of guests in the house today. Hey, Aaron, thanks for still being with us, one of Sharon's guests. And Shanitha, you are here from New Orleans. Yay. And you're a guest of Valerie Lyons. Thank you for attending and for being a guest as well. And I see that
My workout sister.
Your workout sister. There you go. There. Oh, you got someone in this house doing those ab challenges, but we'll talk about that a little later, Valerie. We have another guest by Sharon. We have Anna. So thank you, Anna, for being present. Don, thank you for being present and letting us know that you're a guest of Emily Brown. And of course, Karen, L. Karen, let us know that she is here because of Becky, and they both are members of the Uptown Oklahoma City Club in Oklahoma City. Awesome. Everyone, as I said, this is going to be a great meeting because we're doing something different. WAO Toastmasters every quarter does 3 very special programs. We dedicate one to mentors. We dedicate another one to new members doing a new member orientation. And then we dedicate a third one to our Pathways program. We call it the Pathways Breakfast Club. And technically, that's what today's segment is about. It's all about focusing in on pathways. This is the first time, though, that we're looking at pathways from a completely different lens. Usually, we'll have a training on what base camp is, and we'll walk you through what the information is all about regarding being involved in your transcript in the back office. Well, today, we're focusing in on the realistic part of when you as an individual member have your own time and you're working through Pathways Base Camp, what you should be preparing for, in addition to including when you go into your club meeting and how you should be delivering that speech. So I say we're going to see the base camp work, the in-club work, and the closeout portion of the base camp work. And we have several members who will help with that process. Speaking of being able to help with that process, we have some functionaries that will assist. See, this overall meeting is actually allowing us to focus so much on base camp that we still need to be on time. So we're going to have Jerome Raleigh, who will serve as our timer for the overall event. Jerome, we're looking to have this run for about 75 minutes, no later than 12:10. We should be done with everything. So if you're giving us the virtual backgrounds with the red, green, and yellow, I'm looking to make certain that we can be done about 12:10. We also have a secondary timer. That's going to be Anita Wells. Because we will see an actual speech and an actual evaluation delivered, Anita Wells is going to focus on timing Sharon Giles, who's delivering a 5 to 7 minute speech. And then she will also evaluate, or I should say time, our evaluator, Derek Kimbrough, who will deliver a 2 to 3 minute evaluation. Overall, though, we need to make certain that we set the tone before we bring up the base camp demonstration member, who's going to be Charmaine Fleet. Charmaine is going to walk everyone through the base camp, but before she comes before us, I would like to have our inspirational moment speaker, Emily Brown set the tone for encouragement, uplifting us, and preparing us for a week and 2 weeks actually of inspiration. Madam Inspirational Moment Speaker, the floor is yours.
Good morning, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. As the inspirational speaker this morning at our WAO open house, I wanted to give you a prescription and leave you with a little gift related to our open house theme of happy. There is a proverb that says, "A heart of peace gives life to the body, but envy rots the bones." As you think about this proverb, remember, envy has more than one meaning. It also means anything that is a feeling of discontent, stress, or ill will. So this morning, I want to leave you with 100 ideas and strategies in 9 different categories to help you de-stress your life and add a little more happy into it. So I'm prescribing to everyone here today to try this a little later. Take a look at the 100 strategies listed and commit to doing 3 stress-reducing strategies daily to maintain your happy or your joy. Mix these strategies up, change them around to modify weekly or daily formulas to find your perfect balance. I've placed, or I will be placing, a link in the chat box for your very own copy of 100 ways to reduce your stress so that you can have a heart of peace that gives life to your body. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Madam Inspirational Moment Speaker. We're looking forward to being able to receive that gift from you. Thank you so much for sharing that. I know our chat box is going to be very full of information, everyone. Several links will be coming in. Patricia Johnson has placed inside of the chat box the guest list. So any visitors, feel free to click that link. I am also placing inside of the chat box for the benefit of our guests, our agenda. That way you have a takeaway reference or of today's meeting that you can use at a later date. And then of course, our inspirational moment speaker will be placing inside of the chat box in a moment that list of those 100 ways that we can reduce our stress and bring some happy into our life. Now, speaking of bringing happy, as a vice president of education, I am always happy when our members are able to use the Pathways program and find some benefit in the program. I am also happy when our members find that they are stumbling and bumbling and can't figure out pathways, and they reach out to either their coach, their mentor, or to me as the VPE to assist them with those challenges. I'm also happy as a District 103 leader to be able to see how all of our members in District 103 Toastmasters are taking that baby step in becoming involved in base camp and pathways. Yet, although I might be for all those things, what I do recognize is there are still questions about base camp and how it works within this pathways program. That's why today we're going to go back to the basics. We're going to take a foundational step. We will give you the ability to actually see and hear how to use Basecamp. And with that being said, I am so happy to have our member, Charmaine Fleet, who has finished out the traditional program by earning her Competent Communication Manual or her Competent Communication Award. She is also almost done with her level 1 award in pathways. Once she's done with level 1, she'll also have a level 2, meaning she's progressing through this pathways, yet she's figured out how to use Basecamp. And that's why she's going to serve as our member who will walk us all through. Therefore, everyone, I say take notes, She will read some things. She will allow us to listen. We're almost going to be like a little fly on the wall, or that friend over her shoulder. She's walking us through this process. So be prepared to answer some questions along the way. Be prepared to put comments inside of the chat box. Yet, Charmaine, you are our main character. I want you to go ahead and come on camera and start to walk us through. Let me know if you're having issues with sharing the screen. Yay. Great. I see Charmaine is on camera, everyone. Perfect. She is sharing the screen.
Okay, can you all see the navigation screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Thank you for giving those thumbs up and head nods, everyone.
Okay, so Cassandra, the navigation screen, did you want to talk about it, or would you like me to go ahead and go on over to the introduction?
The navigation screen, everyone, is something that, as Charmaine pointed out, it's something you will see. And I wanted you to be aware of the fact that each and every path that you're in, you're always going to see this as an information screen. It simply tells you what to click on, such as the arrows on the left and right. It allows you to move backwards or to move forward. You'll also notice there's a gray shaded box that says back. There is a box that also says next is burgundy. That is an indication that you may have some screens with additional information. You don't want to bypass them. You want to actually click the next for the additional information to show up. And as a matter of fact, Charmaine will demonstrate some of that today. One other feature that you'll see whenever you're navigating through your Basecamp is that you're going to have a directions tab. The directions tab says, select this tab to get additional guidance or relevant information. I think what you'll notice today is that the direction tab is actually going to pop up. It will open up with additional information on the screen, and it'll give you some extra instructional information. And Charmaine will demonstrate that in different places in this demonstration as well. Thank you, Charmaine. You may now proceed to the introduction.
Okay, so I am going to click the arrow on the right-hand side to take me into the introduction. The introduction, the benefit of any effective evaluation is in the way it is applied. It can be challenging to accept negative or positive feedback. As a Toastmaster, evaluating others, being open to evaluations yourself, and applying feedback to enhance your abilities as a public speaker and leader are crucial skills to develop. I'm going to go ahead and click the arrow on the right-hand side. This is the second page of the introduction. Members rely on each other's evaluations to develop their speaking skills. Communicating constructive feedback to your fellow Toastmasters is just as important as receiving and implementing feedback yourself. In this project, you will learn strategies to effectively receive feedback and apply it to improve your public speaking and leadership skills. You will also learn how to deliver tactful and constructive feedback. You will gain an understanding of how to identify the type of feedback an individual requires and expects, the importance of using positive language in feedback, and the difference between feedback and advice. Going to the next page. So the next page will bring up what is called your assignment, and Cassandra will go ahead and discuss this page.
Thank you, Charmaine. Remember, I mentioned that direction screen will sometimes pop up and it'll give you additional information. Well, what happened, you might have noticed the screen grayed out. Charmaine clicked on that directions tab, which brought us back to what it looks like here. Yet that was an indicator for you that there is something important on this screen for you to focus on. And in this case, what they want you to focus on is that project checklist. As a matter of fact, Charmaine, can you click on that project checklist? Usually what happens is that any document inside of Basecamp, when you click on the hyperlink, it is going to open right there in your website browser. It will open that document. Now, this is giving Charmaine a quick overview of the entire project. There are a couple of different things that she mentioned this project is going to teach her. And with this 2-page checklist, it's a quick way for her to understand exactly the actions that she has to take for this particular project. So I wanted to point out again, anytime you see hyperlinks for documents to download, go ahead and click them. That way you can have them open. You can also download them to your own computer. In this case, Charmaine is simply going to keep it open because she might come back and reference it while she's still inside of Basecamp. Yet it doesn't close out Basecamp. It just simply opens as an additional resource while in Basecamp. Madam Navigator, go ahead and take it away.
So I am going to go ahead and click on the arrow on the right to take me to the next page, which is assess your skills before. So this will just demonstrate my skill level before doing the next speech. So the first question is, I deliver tactful and constructive feedback. I will go ahead and rate myself for number 3. And then I'm going to click the button at the bottom, the next button that Cassandra mentioned, to take me to the next question. I focus on using positive language when delivering feedback. I'm going to rate myself 4 and click on the next button. I recognize the need to be open to receiving feedback about my performance. I will choose a 3. I'm going to click next. I am able to implement feedback received from others. I'm going to click a number 4 and hit next. I am engaged and respectful while watching and listening to a presentation. I will click 4 and hit next. My method is to share observed information instead of advice. Click a 4 and hit next. I recognize how this project applies to my life outside of Toastmasters. I'll click 4 and hit. So now it's asking me to submit my answers. So I'm going to hit the submit button at the bottom. And what pops up? Feedback. You successfully submitted your response. After you've completed this entire project, repeat this assessment tool to measure your skill level. This is an important part of your experience and will help to prepare you for the Reflect on Your Path project. Select the forward arrow to continue. So I'm going to close out of that. And I'm going to click the arrow on the right-hand side. So this brings me to the competency section. And Cassandra, did you want to go ahead and give a little feedback on this?
Sure, Madam Narrator. As Charmaine is pointing out, this is giving you competencies, everyone. This is another one of those screens that you will see no matter what path you're in or what assignment you're doing. The assignment always tells you the type of competencies you will walk away with. You'll notice there are approximately 7 competencies listed. Competencies such as delivering tactful and constructive feedback, to being able to implement feedback in future projects, as well as acknowledging the importance of being open-minded. Those were only 3 of the competencies out of the 7 that I wanted to review for you. Yet keep in mind, pay attention to every single assignment that you do inside of Basecamp, because it does let you know what you're going to learn and what you should be able to do after the assignment is over. Charmaine, back to you.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click on the right-hand side. Success begins with accepting feedback. Accepting a constructive evaluation is an integral part of improving as a public speaker and leader. During your Toastmasters journey, there are numerous opportunities to use the responses of the audience and an evaluator. One is to seek specific feedback. Talk with your evaluator before your speech and ask for feedback on specific skills you want to develop. The more specific you are, the more useful information you'll receive in a response. Your evaluators. Always treat the evaluator with respect and courtesy. Once the speech is over and feedback is given, thank your evaluator. Now I'm going to go ahead and click on the arrow on the right to go to the next screen. How to receive feedback. Receiving feedback from an evaluator can be uncomfortable. Remember what you can gain from the process. Excuse me. Excuse me. Your evaluation is your opportunity to receive insight on your skills in order to improve. In club meetings, evaluations are given with the purpose of supporting each member and achieving personal goals. Your evaluator gives you his opinion based on your speech. The evaluation criteria and the goals you're established at the outset of your presentation. Applying the feedback to your future speeches is your responsibility. I'm going to go ahead and click on the next, on the arrow on the right-hand side. How to receive feedback. Accepting feedback can be challenging. Be aware of your responses during your evaluation at the club meeting. Listen carefully. One is listen carefully to the evaluator. Here we have the more button that Cassandra referenced. I'm going to click on this button to get more tips on listening to and receiving feedback. Look directly at the evaluator as she gives her evaluation. Suspend all judgment or reaction to what you hear. Carefully consider each comment and suggestion for improvement. Evaluate your efforts yourself. Okay, and here, I'm going to go ahead and click on the right-hand side arrow. How to receive feedback. Use your time well. There are steps you can take to make the most of your time with your evaluator. I'm going to go ahead and click the next button at the bottom. Be thoughtful. After the meeting, ask for clarification on any points from the evaluator's verbal feedback. You may find after review that some comments become clearer and more helpful. Clicking on the next button again. Be engaged. Give the evaluator your full attention. Clicking on the next button again. Be positive. When you hear constructive feedback, realize that it is never meant to apply to you, who you are as a person. It is only intended to help you improve as a public speaker and leader. Clicking on the next button. Be open. Listen to the feedback without objection and ask any questions you may have. Here I'm going to go to the right-hand arrow. How to use feedback. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I think I jumped ahead. Cassandra, did you want to pause right here and ask the group if there's any questions?
You know, Charmaine, that's a great point. Everyone, we know that we've been moving through, we've been explaining things. We simply want to touch bases with you. Do you have any questions so far, either about the navigation of Basecamp or about the content that you heard Charmaine share? If you do have a question, you are more than welcome to either raise your hand or unmute your microphone and speak the question. If by chance you don't have any questions and everything is all good and it's been making sense, you can give us the reaction icon of the thumbs up, or you can give us a visual thumbs up in your video screen. Good, good. I'm loving the thumbs up that we're seeing. Awesome. Great, Charmaine. It looks as if everyone is okay. Continue on and share with us, how are we to use feedback?
Okay. How to use feedback. Once you receive feedback, apply what you have learned. Each of us has a unique method for adopting new information and integrating it into our behaviors. Consider converting the feedback into a list and comparing it to a new speech you are writing. Cross-reference the list with your speech as you incorporate the feedback. Any method that works for you is appropriate. Keep your focus on improvement in your future speeches and projects. I'm going to go ahead and click on the arrow on the right-hand side. How to be an effective evaluator. The difference between feedback and advice. It is important to understand the difference between providing feedback and offering advice. Feedback is information, while advice is an opinion. Most Toastmasters evaluations are based primarily on feedback. The evaluator gives the speaker information about what he observed. This helps the speaker to learn how she is being perceived. Clicking again on the right arrow on the right-hand side. And here we have some differences between advice and feedback. So I'll go ahead and click on each of the squares to give us the information. Advice, don't be scared. Feedback, I noticed you were shaking. Advice, you need to stand up straight. Feedback, I observed that your upper body was tilted forward. Advice, you have to speak up. Feedback, I had trouble hearing you. Advice, you need to improve your eye contact. Feedback, I saw that you were averting your eyes from the audience. Advice, you didn't move enough. Feedback, I noticed that you gestured with your hands while you spoke. Going ahead and clicking on the arrow on the right-hand side. How to be an effective evaluator. Understanding objectives. Prepare to evaluate a member's speech by understanding both the project competencies and the member's personal goals for the presentation. Evaluation tools. Review the project assignment and evaluation criteria that corresponds to the speaker's project. These tools will help you identify and focus on the project competencies so you can provide an accurate evaluation. Clicking on the right-hand side arrow, how to be an effective evaluator. Personal goals. Check with the speaker about her personal objectives for the project, which may be in addition to the parameters of the evaluation criteria. Learning the speaker's goals in advance improves the quality of your evaluation. Provide appropriate feedback. Provide feedback based on what you know about the speaker's public speaking ability and level of confidence. If the member is new to public speaking, focus more on what he is doing well. Boost the new speaker's confidence first, then note a few skills he needs to develop. Give an advanced speaker more feedback on ways to enhance her communication and leadership skills while still including positive remarks. Clicking on the arrow on the right-hand side, staying positive. When giving feedback, present your observations in a positive manner. Positive feedback. Studies show positive feedback leads to increased confidence and greater likelihood of achieving goals. During a Toastmasters evaluation, bring attention to areas of the speech you thought were done well. Reinforce the speaker's effective behaviors. Seek a balance that favors positive remarks over negative. If you are struggling to identify positive remarks, look to the areas the speaker indicated as her personal goals. For example, if she wanted to improve eye contact and did a good job, lead with a positive comment about successfully meeting that goal. Constructive criticism. Constructive criticism is the practice of pointing out areas that require improvement in a respectful way. Use the evaluation criteria for the member's chosen project to form the basis of your evaluation. Focus your attention on aspects of the presentation specified in the evaluation criteria. Staying positive. So right now we're going to watch a short video on staying positive. if it'll come up.
Charmaine, hit the back arrow, see if that
Yeah.
will allow the system to catch up. It looks like it's doing something there.
Yeah, it took me out. So bear with.
That's okay. And as she's bringing that up, everyone, I'll allow her to get to that space. Let me just mention to everyone, we know for the members of Toastmasters International, we are very familiar with the fact that Pathways is the education program that we're using. We all join to become better speakers, communicators, and leaders. Pathways is the educational program that allows us to do that. We learn a variety of topics and a variety of lessons, and evaluation and feedback happens to be one of those lessons that we learned. For all of our guests, like the guest of Sharon and the guest of Valerie and the guest of Emily that joined us today, you're witnessing behind the scenes what we experience as a member. Toastmasters is a learn by doing program, which means we take the time on our own to actually work through this material. You do have within the structure of your club some of the guidelines that help you to move forward, and that's part of the process of the VPE. Since our video is here, everyone, I'm going to double check, and actually, let me make certain, Charmaine, let's do this. Let's click out a share screen. Oh, no, before you do that, click it really quick, see if we can hear it, because we might have to come out in order to click the sound.
Can you all hear it?
Hello, welcome to my Toastmasters
Yes,
Club.
we can.
Okay. Did you want me to go ahead and keep going?
Yes, you can go ahead and keep going. If by chance there's an arrow to make the video a little bit larger, you know how you can expand the screen. If you click that, if it exists, I don't remember if it is in there or not. There we go. Yes. Now I'm pausing, everyone. Charmaine is going to play the video. Let's hear how we're supposed to deliver an evaluation.
See a portion of Michael's speech telling a story that won't put them to sleep. Michael is sharing his researching and presenting project. He's asked his evaluators to pay close attention to the way he uses his hands. He's identified gestures as one of the areas he most needed to improve in his last speech. Let's watch Michael's speech. After he finishes, we'll examine how his evaluators present their observations.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. How many of you have ever had this happen? You're sharing a story with friends, family, or teammates. You're lost in your own narration, thinking about what you're going to say next. When suddenly you notice that people are falling asleep, fidgeting, staring off into space. Your listeners are bored or disinterested, and you're not sure how you lost their attention. Now, there's no need to raise hands, because I'm sure that this is an experience that most of us have at one point or another. In fact, an experience like this maybe would prompt some of us to join Toastmasters. That's why I want to share with you some time-tested professional techniques that can help all of us become more effective storytellers. Employing these tricks can make you more engaging and give your story flair. Thank you.
Now that Michael has given his speech, he'll hear from his evaluators. As you listen to them share, consider everything you know about effective evaluations and positive feedback. Ask yourself if they're following the guidelines you've learned.
Michael, I really enjoyed listening to your speech. You did a good job and kept everyone engaged. Storytelling is very important, and you gave us some great insight on how to tell stories better. Thank you.
This evaluation was ineffective because the evaluator did not reinforce specific positive behaviors, focus on project competencies, or highlight areas for improvement. Let's listen to another evaluator and see if she is able to give Michael a stronger evaluation.
First off, I want to say that this was a very informative speech. You had good eye contact and fit all the important information in the right time frame. With that said, I definitely see areas where you need to improve. You spend a lot of time behind the podium. Standing behind the podium too much makes you appear as if you are nervous and uncomfortable. You don't want to look uncomfortable, so make sure you move around more. Another thing you did that showed you were nervous was talking too fast. Next time you give a speech, make sure you focus on your speed and pacing so you don't rush through your speech. Thank you again for speaking today.
While this evaluator did highlight some areas for improvement, her evaluation was ineffective. She did not use I statements or phrase her feedback in a positive manner. Additionally, she did not address the topics the speaker requested or include specific examples from the speech. Let's listen to one more evaluator and see how he evaluates Michael's speech.
Thank you for sharing your research with us, Michael. That was a well-delivered speech. I noticed several areas where you have improved since your last speech. The thing that stood out to me the most during your presentation was the use of hand gestures. Based on our conversation before the meeting, I know that this was an area you were specifically focused on. I could really tell you've been practicing this. I thought it was particularly effective the way you used your hands to emphasize your opening story about listeners who are bored and disengaged. It really helped pull me into the speech. I know our grammarian was keeping count, but I also noticed that the number of ums you used was much less in this speech than in the US. Good work. Since this is a research project, one of the goals is to use credible sources and share it with your audience. I like the way that you did this with your final few tips, but I also noticed that you had no experts credited for your first tip. It would have been helpful for the audience to know where this tip came from or why you weren't able to credit a specific person. I also noticed that you spoke a bit fast. I noticed this specifically during your transitions. This was a time where I was hoping you would slow down a bit to help me go from one thought to the next. I felt a bit rushed. Pacing might be a good area to focus on when preparing for your next speech. I like the way you crafted smooth, clear transitions. This helped me follow the flow of your speech. I thought it was particularly effective the way you summed up your previous tips while transitioning into your final tip. To summarize, I was very impressed by your speech. I saw a great deal of improvement. I also see a potential for continued growth as you focus on things like pacing. Use your strength in providing quality content by sharing all your sources with your audience. And keep up the good work on using hand gestures and a great variety in your vocabulary. I look forward to hearing more excellent speeches from you in the near future.
Final evaluator did a great job encouraging and affirming Michael, while also offering helpful insights he can apply to his next speech. Let's review what he did well. As we've just seen, an effective evaluator will provide a full evaluation that is 2 to 3 minutes long. Use I statements that focus on observed behaviors. Give specific examples from the speech to support feedback. Provide positive, encouraging feedback rather than advice. Reference the speaker's goals and the evaluation criteria. Highlight the speaker's strong points, and conclude with a summary that affirms the speaker. That's the end of our evaluations for today. Thank you for visiting the Think and Speak Toastmasters Club and joining us for Michael's speech. I hope this helps you in crafting feedback when it is your turn to be an evaluator.
Hey. All right, we're going to go on to the next page. When you are evaluating, there are steps you can take to make sure your evaluation is effective. And here again, we have the more button to offer more tips when evaluating. So I'll be clicking on this after each evaluation. During the speech, take notes when necessary, but be careful not to put all your focus on note-taking. Give the speaker the respect and attention you want to receive. Start your evaluation by stating the observed behaviors in an honest, respectful way. Concentrate on the action, not the person. Use I messages when you give your feedback. I messages keep the focus on behaviors and not the person. You are inspiring is about the person. I observed how passionately and energetically you inspired the audience with your personal story is about the behavior. So I'm going to go and click the arrow on the right-hand side. When you're evaluating after the meeting, ask the speaker if he needs clarification or explanation on anything you said. You may give advice if you are comfortable doing so. Your advice will vary depending on many factors, including whether you completed the project you're evaluating. If that's the case, you can relate your personal experience on how you completed the project. I'm going to go ahead and click the next button at the bottom. One-on-one evaluation. If you have the opportunity to provide a one-on-one evaluation, deliver it in person as soon as possible, while it is still clear in both of your minds. Begin a personal evaluation by asking the speaker how she felt about the presentation. This gives her a chance to reflect on her performance before you give your feedback. It also tempers how you respond. Clicking the next button again at the bottom. Perceptions. If your perception was significantly different from the speaker's, either good or bad, you may have to gently ask her to consider the possibility that her perception might be biased in some way. Clicking the next button again. Feedback. Limit constructive criticism to 2 or 3 points. Keep the focus narrow in order to provide this member with small, attainable goals. Too much information adds stress and may dissuade the speaker from trying again. Okay. I'm going to click the arrow on the right-hand side. So this brings up questions on how you're evaluating and what you observed. So I will go ahead and try to answer these questions correctly. Question 1 of 3. Begin evaluations by asking the speaker how 1 was able to read the audience, 2 could have proved his performance, 3 felt about the presentation, 4 did compare to other speakers that day. Not quite. Select the X button to close the window and move on to the next question. So I did not get that one correct. So I'm going to go ahead and click the arrow on the right-hand side. Question 2.
No, go back. You didn't get it correct. Go back and see if you can choose the correct answer. Yeah. So click the right arrow. So yep, there's one. Mm-hmm.
Question 1 of 3. Begin private evaluations by asking the speaker how felt about the presentation. Correct. Okay. All right. So did everyone get that one? So question number 2, when giving feedback, use I messages to keep the focus on the issues, vocal variety, advice, or body language. I'm going to click I messages, which is correct. And then number 3, start your evaluation by stating blank in an honest, respectful way. 1, the biggest mistakes. 2, the observed behaviors. 3, a better approach to the material. 4, your expertise in the area. I'm going to choose the observed behaviors, which is correct. Congratulations. With this knowledge, you will be better equipped to provide your fellow Toastmasters with effective evaluations. So at this point, I'm going to click out of here. and select the forward arrow to continue. Review and apply. How does accepting feedback help you deliver your speaking skills? Why is it important to be tactful and constructive when delivering feedback? What is the difference between the feedback you would give a new experienced member and the feedback you will give an experienced public speaker? How does body language impact the tone of feedback? What is the value of receiving feedback? Why is it important to stay engaged while another member is making a speech? What is the difference between feedback and advice? How does remaining open-minded help you develop your public speaking skills? So here, Cassandra, I believe I'm to pause.
You did a fantastic job reading those questions. And everyone, I want you to recognize what Charmaine did. She read through the questions that Pathways will give you at the end of each of your lessons. They do something called review and apply. It's usually a series of questions where you are asking them of yourself. You want to make the attempt to answer some of them. Like, for instance, I'm going to just pick one. And I remember earlier in the content, Charmaine said there was a difference between feedback and advice. In the chat box for us, tell us what you remember that she said the difference was between feedback and advice. What do you remember from that? Feedback and advice. What was the difference there? As we're pausing and allowing your answers to come into the chat box, I want you to know that you basically will be asking yourself these type of questions. You're making the attempt to test your memory on what was stated, and or you're seeing if you can provide yourself with a response based off of what you understood the content to teach you. So I picked only one of the random questions, and I know they told us in the content there was a difference between feedback and advice. And we're beginning now to receive some of your comments come into the chat box. Thanks, Becky, for saying that feedback is observed behavior. Advice is telling the person what they should do. Deborah, thank you for adding in telling speakers what to do versus making positive suggestions. Jerome, you added in advice equals you must, you should, and don't, whereas feedback is based on observation. Derek, I see your response is that feedback is observed advice is what they should do. And then Valerie Robinson, thank you for adding in that advice is your opinion and feedback is your suggestion. And then we got another one that came in that feedback states what you observe and start with I and give positive suggestions. Any every of one of those answers are right on point. As a matter of fact, everyone find a reaction icon or even do the applause symbol inside of the visuals, the camera, because each of them are on point. Now, notice I mentioned these questions give us an opportunity to think. It gives us the chance to answer the questions for ourselves based off of what we understood the content to tell us, or to actually test our memory. And the one comment that truly goes back in testing our memory is the comment or the answer that came in. I think it came from Valerie Robinson. She said, advice is your opinion and feedback is your suggestion. And I do remember the content specifically saying that advice is your opinion. So she remembered some of that content as well as along with all of the rest of the colleagues interpreted it to be and to combine a lot of the key points. So that's, again, that's a great way of using the review and apply. Don't bypass this information in your base camp and simply click that right-hand arrow. Use this as a moment to actually pause. See how much of the content resonated with you. See how much of the content you're able to answer as a way of answering these questions. Thanks again, Basecamp user Charmaine. I'll give you the opportunity to begin to take us to the final segment before we move into our break.
So I'm going to go ahead again to the right-hand side and click the arrow. which would be completing your assignment. Now that you have read through the project plan and prepare your speech or report. So, believe I've already clicked the project checklist, but from memory, I'll go back to the project checklist in the beginning, which has the purpose, the overview, what your project should include, and the tasks that you need to complete once you go ahead and sign up for your speech. So I can, for the sake of time, I'll just go through them briefly. The purpose of your speech, the overview, the project, the time of your speech, scheduling your speech with the Vice President of Education, writing your first speech, rehearsing your speech, presenting your first speech, scheduling your second speech with the Vice President while remembering the evaluation and what you need to include in that speech, writing your second speech for the project, incorporating any feedback that the evaluator provided, rehearsing your second speech, presenting that second speech, then volunteering to be in the speech evaluator at a club meeting after you've completed both speeches, coordinating with your vice president in advance of the club meeting. And after you've completed all the components of the assignment, you log in and take the assessment to assess your skills. I'll go back here. And now I'm going to go ahead and review the menu screen at the bottom of the page to return to your assignment screen and review your assignment by clicking on the More button. So again, organize, select the project list on the left side of the screen, review the steps and add your own to organize and prepare your assignment. Schedule with the vice president to schedule your speech. Prepare your evaluation, go to your evaluation screen and review the evaluation criteria, print or send the evaluation resource to your evaluator. Now I'm going to click the right hand arrow again and your evaluation. So here, Cassandra, I think I'll wait. We'll come back to this. If I'm correct, Sharon will go ahead and give her speech and then I'll come back and take the evaluation for the group.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Charmaine. As a matter of fact, I'm loving the fact that Charmaine got us to this point because technically everyone, especially for Toastmaster members, anytime you're inside of base camp and you've read through the content, you got an idea about the assignment, you'll typically get to a place that says your evaluation. Your evaluation is going to give you a heads up as to what your speech evaluator will be rating you on. So you'll notice it says 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is letting you know that 5 stands for exemplary, 4 stands for excels, 3 is for accomplish, 2 is for emerging, and then 1 is for developing. That means when you deliver the speech, your speech evaluator will be using this rating scale to rate you. The other idea of the your evaluation page is that it's going to provide you once again with any of the resources that you should be downloading and using for preparation of that speech. Now, remember, this is the evaluation and feedback project, which means there are 3 assignments built in. Yes, I did. I said 3. This is one of the pathways assignments that I've noticed as a vice president of education, as well as a district leader, that a lot of our members are missing. They miss the fact that there are 3 components to this. First, you deliver a speech on any topic, and you get evaluation feedback from an evaluator. The second time you do this assignment is where you take all of that feedback you got from that first speech, you do the speech again, yet this time you incorporate that feedback into a second speech. When you're done with that, you serve as a speech evaluator. Remember, this lesson taught you on how to receive feedback, how to give feedback, and how to use feedback. So how to get feedback is speech number 1. How to use feedback is speech number 2. And then how to give feedback is when you serve as a speech evaluator. As Charmaine pointed out, we are going to have an opportunity in which to hear from a member who will deliver a speech. And what we will do is stop sharing the screen at this point. Charmaine, you can go ahead and stop sharing. And we will position ourselves to actually hear from one of our members who literally is in this path. She's in, or I should say, in this assignment, because her and Charmaine may not be in the same path, and that's okay. We don't have to be in the same path. We will all experience evaluation and feedback. Today, we're going to hear from someone who has multiple guests in the room. And I would say, everyone, this will be a great opportunity. If you are off camera, you can come on camera at this point. That way you can show her your face in order to be able to show her some love. And as I am prepping myself, look at you all. Yay. Thank you for doing that. We know being in a virtual environment, we won't be able to see everyone's face. Yet, Sharon, I know you can see those that you can. And let me double check. Can you, Sharon, by chance see Anita? Have you pinned your timer? That way you'll be able to see Anita. Yes, she says yes. Awesome. She is someone we love. And I told her daughter, Erin, this earlier. I say, you're lucky we haven't stolen her from you. We love her so much. And Erin says she has learned a long time ago to share her mom with the world. And we're so grateful that you've shared her with us, Erin. Sharon today is delivering a speech from Pathways, which is from the Innovative Planning Path. This is going to be the very first speech where she is delivering a speech on any topic, and she will receive feedback. Now, if you guys want to come back as a guest later on, when you see her incorporate the feedback into speech number 2, I'm giving you an early invitation. Yet for today, she is delivering speech number 1 for evaluation and feedback. The title of her speech is Dead End Street. Are you looking for a home situated on a street known for its safety and security? A street with complete peace and quiet, less traffic than living on a dead end street, or to be placed for it to be listed. So I'm going to read that last part again. A street with complete peace and quiet, less traffic than living on a dead end street is the place to be, or is it? Well, she's about to let us know if it's the place to be or not in Dead End Street. Everyone get your round of applause together for Sharon Giles, Dead End Street. Sharon Giles with Dead End Street.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters and guests. I was just sitting here with a few of my friends, because you see, we all grew up on that dead end street. And we were wondering if where we grew up had any effect on how we are living our life today. We want to know, by living on a dead end street, did it affect our personality? Did it affect us in any way? Google defines a dead end street. Now, not to be confused with a cul-de-sac. Google says a dead end street is a street without an exit, a position, a situation, or course of action that leads to nothing. It leads no further. Now, the Chinese say a dead end street, there's no proper airflow. So it's not good because there is no feng shui. My friends and I, we have been friends for many years. We grew up in an atmosphere of neighbors helping neighbors. That was the way of life for us. The relationship that we formed in that community, we have not found that type of relationship anywhere in the world. And we have traveled the world. It's now that we want to take what we learned from our close-knit community into other communities. We want to show them that there is love, there is peace, and that we can all live in harmony. What neighborhood are you from? Where is your community? We, as the Redwood Ashburn Toastmasters, not to be confused, Redwood is the neighborhood, Ashburn is the community. And if you know anything about community, community is all about the people. It's the people that gives the community the strength. And where we grew up, we had much strength. We learned respect and we learned to support our neighbors. And that is the type of atmosphere that we want to replace in this city called Chicago. You see, soon we will come up out of this shutdown. In Chicago, there are 77 communities, and many of these communities have witnessed cruel and thoughtless human behavior right in their own backyard. We're trying to change that. We want to meet the needs of the people. We want to replace the love that has been lost through violence, through gangs, through pure neglect. We want to replace the empty lots with flowers. We want to take all of the garbage from the street and replace it with clean environment. And it begins how, where? It begins with the people. It begins with the people in their neighborhood. We have to put back the trust in our elected officials. We have to hold them accountable, not only the elected officials, but we also have to, those so-called community leaders, are we holding them accountable? Are we holding them accountable? They're not going to be effective unless we are effective. I have some suggestions. After visiting the West Pullman district just recently, we have come up with some ideas that could possibly get the West Pullman district reconnected. Remember now, the strength of the community begins and ends with trust, not only with the elected officials, the community leaders, but also the residents. We play an important part in getting our communities back to where they belong. First of all, we need to conduct a community canvas. What that will do, it will identify the issues. It will name the resources to combat those issues. Bring back those block clubs. I know you've passed many neighborhoods and you see a big sign that says 87th Street Block Club, 37th Street Block Club, South District Block Club. But are they effective? Or is it just a big sign in someone's yard? Organize a community cleanup day. Clean up day. Once I leave my cousins in Schaumburg and I come back across 115th Street, I know I am no longer in a clean neighborhood. Someone has trashed our area. We can't allow that. Work on buildings with problems. One bad building can ruin a whole block. Now we have to get some legalities here because we want to hold landlords accountable. Work with the police and other city departments to assist in the holding landlords accountable. Start a community garden. Where we grew up, we had a community garden and it was run by my grandma, Sophie. She was a flower lady. Let's see some flowers in the neighborhood or even a vegetable garden. Why not both? I know you will all agree it looks better than an empty lot full of weeds and rubbish because that only feeds the rodents. And you know, no one's coming out to put the poison down for them. And they just live with rent free in your neighborhood. Organize field trips for the children. Many museum passes can be obtained free of charge just by going to your neighborhood library. If they don't have them, inquire. Inquire. Tell them, go and get them. It's available to you. Lastly, Chicago is known throughout the city and suburb. Let me start that one again. Chicago is known throughout the summer of holding block parties. You must have a permit. I strongly suggest that we do that. Reason why? It keeps the community members together. We want to set a goal, and the goal is to keep all members of the community engaged, invested. Oh, you might be a renter, but you're still invested in your community. Dedicated, and most of all, respected. In a community, everyone shares. There are no big I's. There are no big U's. Not even the one that's got the big house on the corner. They're still invested. They must be engaged. They must be dedicated. Don't let them run your community away. Let's get the drugs out. Let's get the children back into the playground safely. Safely, I say. My friends and I, again, we grew up in a dead-end street. We loved, we learned, and we're taking our message throughout Chicagoland to every neighborhood. We're trying to affect every community to come back to the way it was. Even though we were on a one-way street, dead end, in the uptown, there was a law that kept our ancestors there. They were not allowed to move from that dead-end street. But it didn't stop our thinking. It didn't stop us from being compassionate. It didn't stop us from being loving, not only on that one block of Winthrop and Leland Avenue, but we've taken it to the world, sharing love, letting you know that we're not lost because of that one-way street. In the words of the famous late tennis champion, Arthur Ashe, he said, start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. I ask you, fellow Toastmasters, look around your community. Does where you live make who you are? Remember, love your neighbor. It is not an option. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Madam Presenter, Madam Speaker. Yay. I see lots of applause. I see those reaction icons coming up as well. And everyone, here's what I would like to do. Traditionally, in a meeting, we would hear presentations, take a stretch break, and then come back for the evaluators. Usually, the break gives you an opportunity to communicate with the speaker and let them know how well they did, your comments. It also gives the speech evaluator an opportunity to prepare their notes. What I would like to do at this moment in time is to actually take an official stretch break. When we return, we will hear the evaluation of Sharon's speech, in addition to having Charmaine do the final segment of Base Camp for us to close out our Base Camp demonstration. You don't have to log off. You can definitely stick around. If you want to go off camera, you can do that as well. Yet while on break, put in the chat box comments privately to Sharon about how well you enjoyed her presentation. And I shall see you back in 10 minutes, everyone. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Emily. We appreciate you. Thank you for being here.
Uh-huh.
Bye, baby.
Bye, sweetie. I'll talk to you soon.
Love you.
Okay, love you more.
Love you.
Love you.
I didn't want to be left out.
Well, I love everybody. How about that?
Yeah,
There we go. Hey, Calais.
that was my youngest cousin.
Oh, really, Emily? It's so good seeing all of you.
And her name before she got married, she was Emily Brown.
Cool. Let me wolf this down right quick.
Valerie, I'm trying to get into your workout. I saw it on, you had a schedule set up for working out. I saw it on
for abs only.
Yeah, well, I need it for everything. Yeah.
Do what you need to do.
Calais, I don't believe that. I don't believe that, Calais.
Well, you know what? My biggest problem, Valerie, is trying to keep some weight on, but trying to keep it off of my abs. My abdomen is the biggest problem.
Right.
It goes with old age, you know.
I do know what you mean. You know, it's very easy, at least for me, to lose anywhere else.
Yes, me too.
If I do some cardio, it's leaving. But that abdomen area, that's where the work is. Darn children. Oh gosh.
It's difficult for me to gain, you know, but that abdomen never goes away.
I remember having that problem. I was drinking weight on, eating a half a gallon of ice cream a day, and I mean everything just to gain weight. And then once I got it, it wouldn't leave for a long time. I had to work at it.
Well, I have a restricted diet, so that makes it even more difficult, you know?
Yeah.
Calais, it's so good to see you.
Isn't it good?
Oh, that's
how
good.
How you feeling? How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. You know, I told you I had fallen.
Yeah.
And my foot is still giving me problems. I have an appointment next week with a specialist. So
did you get the information on that vegan restaurant? You know, you said you were at that vegan restaurant on a.
Oh, some time ago, yes, and
I sent you the correct information on it.
Did you win?
About 2 days after we talked.
Girl, you know I'm not.
That's okay. Me too. I do the same thing.
Send it again.
I know.
Although I'm not going anywhere, but I would like to have. You know.
Maybe I'll swing by and pick you up because it's right in between your house and my house.
Yes.
Then we can go. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
I got my first vaccination. Well, I have my second one next week.
Oh, I got my first one. I get the second one on the 6th of April.
Oh.
I had no reaction. My arm wasn't sore. I didn't do anything. Nothing.
I didn't either. I just had. But you know what? Having a sinus problem. I had a bit of coughing, you know, but other than that, everything was good. Everything
it was good. My doctor he told me what to do. So I did it and I still continue to do it. He said, he told me to eat blueberries. And well, first of all, he made me do my hand like this often. And he said that's to pump the water out or whatever. And eat blueberries and drink green tea. I always drink green tea.
Me too.
And I always eat blueberries, but I had to go and get some more, and that's what I've been doing. And everything has been fine.
Yeah, I haven't had a problem either. As I said, my sinus was bothering me a bit. But I'm on this thing called chokeberry.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of it before.
Yeah.
But now it's being sold. The name is aronia berry juice from the chokeberry. And it's amazing. Look it up. YouTube, Valerie. Okay? Yeah. It has
choke, CHOKE, like you're choking yourself.
Okay.
Berry, BERRY.
Mhm.
But that chokeberry, the seeds, chokeberry seed, the choke seeds, they make a juice called Aronia, and it's concentrated. I'll send you the information.
Okay.
Yeah, send it to me too.
Yeah, I will.
I have to go because I on my last little ounce of my juice. I got to go to the health food store when I leave here. When I
You know what? You can't even
finish.
find that. You can't even find it in the stores. That tells you something.
It's not at the health food store?
No.
Oh, you got
I
to
had to
look
order it. I had to order it.
from
I ordered
Amazon. Does
children.
Amazon have it? No, I'm going to get some black seed oil once this is over.
Okay.
It's,
And it's very
no.
expensive, but we'll talk about it, both of you. There's some information to share with you both.
Okay. Okay.
I think that you two can relate to it.
Okay. Well, give us the information because
Y'all do, sisters.
my it's not my abdomen that I'm worried about. My abdomen is okay. It's what I sit on.
Well, guess what? Well, I don't know where that flew out to. It just flew out the window. I didn't have much to begin with.
My children stole mine.
Now look, Valerie, you are well, put together, girl.
Valerie,
Thank you. I have to work on it though. Woo.
Yeah,
Yes.
you got it, girl. You give me inspiration.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Thank you.
Me too. Don't she? Always. It's always been like that. I follow her.
Yeah. I will follow you.
Yes, see my workout sister Shanitha. I mean, these girls be working and working hard. Woo.
What do you do? Have workout boot camp or something?
Yes, we work out online with Brittany Ramsey. We're in this group called the Misfits. So we miss, like ladies miss, and we're fit. And I mean, the workouts are really, really challenging but effective.
Do you have to pay for this workout?
Yes, she's on Facebook. I'll contact her, see if we can hook you up.
Yeah, girl, everything depends on the almighty dollar, I'm on a strict budget.
I hear you. We're but everybody's working out in the house for the most part. Some people are going to gyms. I'm not going to the gym, which reminds me I have to suspend my membership. Excuse me. But my gym is here. So right down the hallway is my my regular gym, and I have the Peloton bike in the next room.
Oh, a lot of people have that Peloton bike. My daughter has one. She lives in Seattle. They go from the least amount to the more expensive.
I have one too. It's my bike sitting in front of that 42 inch over there. Yeah, it's sitting in front of that TV. That's my Peloton.
I hear you.
and I just changed the channel.
Oh, girl.
Here come the professor.
Trouble is in here.
Here come the professor. Here come the professor.
You say Sporty's around?
Yeah, I saw the professor. There he is. There he is. Okay,
how do I get him on my screen?
We gotta watch what we say now.
Not for long. Not for long.
Oh, Sporty.
What's up, Tale?
How you doing?
I'm good.
Hello. Welcome back. Hey, Sporty, are you joining us now, or you think? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I'm on the break at my other meeting, and I wanted to see how your timing was going for the group picture.
We'll still be around 12:30 to something like that. So I'll text you when we're positioning ourselves for it.
Okay.
Cool.
You're looking good, Sporty.
Well, welcome back from break, everyone. Welcome back from break. We have had a great demonstration thus far. I really appreciate Charmaine and Sharon and Derek being a part of this base camp demonstration. As I said, this was something new for us. We typically don't look at base camp in this way, yet what we've been noticing, especially as club officers, our club president asked me in the beginning of the club year, how are our members doing with using base camp. I could only see so much. I could only find out so much from individual conversations. And I decided, since the question was asked, perhaps it would be worth it to actually walk us through the demonstration. And that's what we've done so far. Now, the idea is, on your own, you're doing your base camp work. You're literally doing exactly what Charmaine did. You're reading every screen. You're clicking every next button. You're making certain you're answering every assessment and watching any videos. Yet when you get to the place in base camp, when it tells you to prepare for the speech inside the club, you then start to prepare your speech. You do eventually what Sharon Giles did. Sharon prepped her speech, practiced her speech, and then she presented her speech inside of the club. Inside the club, you also receive a speech evaluation. What I call this next segment is to be the closeout of base camp pre-work and post-work. We're now going to hear from Derek Kimbrough, who will provide Sharon with an evaluation of her evaluation and feedback speech number 1. Eventually, Sharon will take that information and she'll do some other things with it. And Charmaine and I will walk you through those steps after Derek's evaluation. At this time, I would like to welcome everyone to listen and witness, I say, our award-winning WAO member who delivers speech evaluations. He is preparing himself for the South Division Speech Contest, which will be on Sunday, March 28th, and that is none other than Derek Kimbrough. Mr. Speech Evaluator, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests, but most importantly, to our speaker for today, Sharon. Sharon, thank you so much for taking time to provide us with a journey along this dead-end street. I have to be honest with you, my initial reactions when I think of or hear about a dead-end street, I'm thinking of an area where there's like no way in, only one way in, and that's the way you go in, that's the way you go out. But you truly provided us this dead-end street that was enlightening, inspirational, and truly a street we wanted to go down. So today what I want to do is just provide you with some things that I thought you truly excelled at. And because this is a speech, as we already know, is something you're going to do again, I want to provide you with exactly something that you can take to the second speech that you'll be providing soon. Right off the bat, what I observed is that you clearly provided us with information around understanding a neighborhood and a community. You talked about Redwood, Ashburn, and it clearly took me to thinking about my community of Austin, where I grew up on the west side. So clearly you did a great job of that. What I would suggest is that I know that I've seen the visual before that kind of lists all the communities across Chicago. You witnessed that, you shared with us that there are about 77 communities in Chicago. I would give a visual that kind of highlights what those communities are. Might add an extra punch. Another thing that you did that I truly love is that I observed a list towards the end that provided about 7 suggestions for the work that we needed to do. I know, or what I observed or what I saw was that the reaction there is that people wanted it. I even wanted it. I said, I really want to know more about this. You even had someone to type in the chat, hey, I need this list of strategies. I would say, take that list of strategies and just give us bullet points. You had a lot of language there in your presentation. Community canvas, block clubs, community cleanup days, landlord accommodations, community gardens, field trips, block partners. Just give us quick bullets and expound on it verbally through what you're doing. We love to hear a voice, straight, short bullet points, and your voice would give us what we need there. Finally, the last thing that I want to say to you, and I challenge you, is that presentation that you provided us was a Word document. You are a woman, you create things with flowers, you always provide us with something beautiful. I'm going to challenge you to graduate from the Word document and give us a PowerPoint presentation. That will add more color, more and it definitely will take your presentation a step further. Sharon, I love what you did. I want to learn more about communities. Thank you so much for taking us down this dead end street. Madam Toastmaster.
Hey, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Speech Evaluator. Keep in mind, everyone, what this assignment was that Charmaine took us through in base camp. It was all about learning how to get evaluated, use the evaluation information that you get, and then at some point become an evaluator. Sharon demonstrated for us getting evaluations. Derek demonstrated for us giving evaluations. As I said, you are welcome to attend the part 2 where you get a chance to see Sharon use the evaluation the second time she does this speech in the next couple of months in WAO. Yet for now, let me mention this. When you're done in a club meeting, you've worked hard, you prepared that speech, you finally delivered the speech. The next thing you have to do is what I call closing the file. That simply means now as a member, it's your job to go back into your base camp and to do the final work for that assignment. Now, technically, remember, we're really not done with this assignment because there are 3 assignments for it. Although Charmaine is going to share her screen again, and we're simply going to highlight for you what would typically be done. Charmaine, I'll give you the opportunity to share your screen. And we know that base camp will take us to where we left off. There are some assignments that are 2 parts, such as in our pre-meeting earlier today, we heard from our club president, Valerie Lyons. She did a speech that is in 2 parts. We also heard from Patricia Johnson, our vice president of membership, who delivered a speech that was in 2 parts. So that means they are in the same situation that Sharon is in. There is a second component to be done, or a third component to be done before inside a base camp the assignment is completed, yet they still will have the ability to go back in, review the checklist, print any evaluation forms if needed. What Charmaine is about to do is to take us back to where we left off. And I just want to point out for you with the resources list. Remember, we saw 4 resources: the evaluation resource for first speech, evaluation resource for the second speech, and then the evaluation resource for the evaluator. And then it says, print my project. Printing the project would have printed everything that Charmaine read through. It would be a paper version of what you read through in the online part of Basecamp. If you want to print your project, you're more than welcome to do so. Yet I say you simply want to make sure you print those evaluation forms. That way you know what you're prepping and you know what your evaluator is looking for. In WAO, as the VPE, what I ask is for every speech evaluator to email the completed evaluation form to both the speaker as well as to me as the VPE. I keep track of all of our WAO members' speeches in order to make sure I'm following along with the progress you're making. You also have copies of what you need to have for your file. And of course, when it's time for me to approve your levels, I can't approve if I don't have the proof that you've done it. And yeah, I have someone who's a member of our club who's been telling people outside of the club that I see them giving a speech and I still make them give me their evaluation. I know that joke is out there, but it's serious. You know it. I can see you deliver that speech, but I still want to have a copy for my file and to ensure that you have a copy for your file. Derek is really good at completing the evaluation, and he sends it to both the to me as the VPE and the speaker on the same day. So sometime this afternoon, Derek will have emailed to Sharon all of the comments he said, and I'll receive those comments as well. And Sharon will have it to prep for second speech or speech number 2. One other point that is inside of Basecamp, and Charmaine, go ahead and click that right-hand arrow. Now, say for instance, this was at the place where Sharon had served as a speech evaluator. So she's done speech 1, she's done speech 2, where she incorporated all the feedback from speech 1, and then she became a speech evaluator of someone's speech. When she's done there, she would come back into Basecamp and she would do the survey for assessing your skills. That gives her the opportunity to actually rate herself again in each of those areas. And then it would give her a chance to close out. And notice what happened on Charmaine's screen. Remember, she said earlier, I'm answering all these questions. I'm going to give myself a 3 here. I gave myself a 4 there. So the before assessment scores are showing up. She then comes back in and she rates herself after she's done all of those assignments. So when she rated herself as a 3 before, did it improve or did it stay the same? So you get an opportunity to see your before and your after. And once that is done, and Charmaine, just for the fun of it, click that right-hand arrow again. I do believe that's the last thing that needs to be done inside of Basecamp. And that is true. When you're done with all of the assignment work inside of Basecamp, you will get that screen that says, congratulations, you're done. Now, technically here in the evaluation and feedback assignment, again, we're noticing that members are getting to this screen and Basecamp is saying that the work is done when technically the speeches haven't been performed in the club yet. So although technically Charmaine can click this and she could close out of her Basecamp and Basecamp is going to read it as woohoo, she's done, we're really not done yet. We have to make certain that the speeches delivered in the club for evaluation and feedback speech number 1, then incorporate that feedback into the evaluation and feedback speech number 2, and then become a speech evaluator at a different meeting where Sharon and Charmaine would serve as a speech evaluator for someone else's speech. So that way they get a chance again to do what the lesson taught. You learn how to get feedback, you learn how to use that feedback, and then you learn how to give feedback. So that's the 3-step process for it. With that being said, everyone, that is the conclusion of the Basecamp demonstration. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to present you with that. What are your thoughts? What are your comments? What are your questions? As you're thinking about it, I'm just providing that round of applause. That is to Charmaine. Thank you, Charmaine, so much. This icon is for Sharon. Thank you, Sharon, so much for demonstrating the actual speech that was associated with that assignment. And also this is for Derek. Thank you for being the speech evaluator to demonstrate that segment of the assignment as well. Everyone, what thoughts, what comments, what questions do you have about Basecamp or anything that you saw Charmaine walk us through? And that's for our guests, it's also for our members. Oh, good, Karen. Thank you for saying that. I'm glad it was helpful. Sharon, I see you're unmuted. Yeah, go ahead, Sharon.
I have a question now. I did speak with Derek yesterday because I wanted him to watch some things that I've been told I should do. I don't know if he mentioned them. I was still, ugh. But I asked, I did see my hands come up. So I was just wondering if my hands came up where you could see them. And then my second part of that question is for the speakers. Do you actually contact your evaluators and ask them or to look for certain things? That is just so important. That way you will give an evaluation and you can grow because you've said, okay, do I watch the camera? Do I look down? And if your evaluator brings that into the evaluation, that will help you. I've been doing that. I must admit that I have been traveling virtually to various Toastmaster meetings. I was actually in London, England on Monday, and it was so professional. I said, I'm bringing a bunch of this stuff back across the pond to my members. And that's one of the things they talked about on how evaluators evaluate and how speakers actually miss their growth because they do not speak to their evaluators before the speeches. So I am just putting it out there, WAO. Speak to those who are going to be evaluating you before you speak.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sharon. I appreciate you doing that. I know I had prepared to do a poll, but there is some type of technology glitch happening right now with Zoom. I think we're logged in with too many devices. Yet that was one of the questions that I had. I was going to ask, as a matter of fact, members, if you have ever, before you delivered a speech inside of WAO or outside of WAO, any member that's a Toastmaster member, actually, if you find that you do speak to your speech evaluator before you deliver that speech, I want you to give us a reaction icon. You can give the thumbs up reaction icon if you've done that. I know Jerome put a comment inside the chat box, which represents that he does. I know Sharon mentioned that she did. There are individuals I know that will have conversations with us after their speeches. Sometimes, though, having the conversation with the speech evaluator before the speech is extremely helpful, as Sharon pointed out. Yet, the lesson taught that. I don't know if you guys caught that when Charmaine was reading through the base camp demonstration. She actually read that. And I love that Deborah is saying that is definitely old school, Sharon. Yes, we used to do that with the other clubs as well. And Deborah, you're so right. When I joined Toastmasters in 1999, that's exactly what we were expected to do. And it was taught on a regular basis that we reach out to our speech evaluators. Also, something else I want you guys to give me a reaction on. Do any of you happen to keep a feedback list? The assignment talked about keeping a feedback list. So anytime you get feedback from someone, do you have that list of what they said and you're able to go back and check off? Do you have a streamlined version of that, or do you keep that at all in some respect? I like what Emily said. She gave a thumbs up there. Yeah, I do as well. And I used to have like notebooks, binders worth of information. Every speech I would give, I would have my evaluator's note. And then this is the final comment I have. Do you do your own notes for your own speech? Do you give yourself feedback on your own speech? When I talked about I had binders and binders worth of notes, part of my note keeping was I heard what my evaluator said, but I was also rating myself and giving myself feedback on what worked well, what didn't work well, and what could be done differently next time. I don't have it as formal now. That way I don't keep so much paper, but it is something that I still keep track of in my notes. So in my handouts or in my PowerPoint presentation, I'll put some notes in the notes segment of the PowerPoint. That way, the next time I deliver that presentation, I have those notes to remind myself of. And it includes what the evaluator said, as well as the information that I captured for myself. Now, with that being said, I'm looking at the chat box one more time. And thanks, Deborah, for saying you're going to start doing that again. And I love the reaction icons of everyone that provided us with feedback. As I said, this was a special meeting for WAO today. We were including our base camp demonstration, or what we call our Pathways Breakfast Club. We did it as an extended meeting during our regular meeting time, as opposed to during the pre-meeting. Yet during this regular meeting, we also wanted to include an opportunity for guests to learn more about WAO, to consider becoming a member of our Redwood, Ashburn Overcomers WAO Toastmaster Club, giving the opportunity to our Vice President of Membership, Patricia Johnson, and/or her membership committee will give all the guests an opportunity to learn more about us, as well as to receive that invitation to join us. Madam Vice President of Membership, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster. I am happy, so I'm waving my hands. If you're happy, wave your hands. All right. This is a great opportunity on today. Like Cassandra said, we have our open house, and we want to briefly take some time to acknowledge our guests. Anna, can you unmute yourself and tell us how you enjoyed the open house on today?
Sure. Thank you so much again, Sharon, for inviting me. And thank you to all of you for such a beautiful overview and really helpful overview of what it, I think I put on the chat, what it means to be a Toastmaster. It is obviously a lot of labor of love. And so it was very nice to see that. And I, of course, love Sharon's speech, and knowing a little bit about Sharon's history on that block. It was really meaningful for me to hear her speak on that, and loved every bit of it, the title, the call to action that you provided us, and the very helpful strategy. So I really appreciate being here, and it's an honor to have had an opportunity to be part of your community, even for just today. So thank you.
Thank you for coming. Don, can you unmute yourself and tell us, did you enjoy the meeting?
Yes, I did. Good morning. Well, now good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Just got a chance to see a little bit of what my wife does on Saturday mornings with you guys, and I enjoyed watching it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I like family on family. Keisha, can you unmute yourself and tell us how you enjoyed the open house?
I don't believe she's still here.
Okay.
Karen is still here. Gayatri is still here.
Okay. Gayatri,
and
can
Aaron.
you unmute yourself and tell us how you enjoyed the open house?
Sure. Let me visualize myself as well. Thank you so much it was such an honor, and echoing what Anna said, thank you for opening this up to guests and allowing us to be a part of your community this morning. It was a wonderful, helpful set of presentations, walking us through not only what the Toastmasters Club is about, but also very helpful tips on how to give a presentation, how to evaluate presentations. Both Anna and I are teachers, and we always appreciate these lessons and learn from them every time. So thank you very much for that. And of course, echoing what Anna said, loved your presentation, Sharon. We are actually trying to capture some of those stories about the Winthrop block and the Uptown neighborhood. And so having this opportunity to hear these stories is just wonderful. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming to being the guest. I know this next guest, LK Bishop, can you unmute yourself and tell us how you enjoyed the open house?
Oh, thank you. I certainly appreciated the, you might say, exchange invite Becky made to us to come and visit your club. And so many of your members have visited our club. I appreciated the open house because even though one has gone through a pathway, it is very informative to have it spoken instead of just looking at it and reading it, because we are sensory people. And so having it presented in another way, I think, is very important and helps one learn in a different way than you do in the other two. So I really appreciated this open house and the presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. LK Bishop from Uptown 627. Next, we have Aaron. Can you unmute yourself and tell us, did you get a great information out our open house on today? Is he still there?
Aaron, if you're still here, I think you're on mute. Not sure if you're making the attempt to speak out loud, but you're on mute for us. So if you want to unmute yourself, Aaron. For now, Madam Vice President membership, it doesn't look like Aaron's able to come off of mute. If we see her come on camera or if I see her unmute, I'll let you know. That way you can give her the floor again.
Okay, thank you. To all of our guests, we definitely appreciate your coming. I heard Sharon all over the place. And a part of our Toastmaster promise, we promised to bring guests. I heard Emily name, I heard Becky, but most of all, we had Sharon name. So therefore, the WAO Toastmaster membership team presents Sharon Giles with a Dunkin' Donut card because she had the most guests. And to all of our other members, please remember our promise and definitely invite guests to come to our meetings. Now to our guests, this is just the beginning. Here at WAOs, you continue to grow higher and higher. No matter where you started at, you will definitely grow. You will get a mentor, you'll get a coach, you have that support. We ask 3 things from WAO though, before you become a member. We want you to go out. There's so many Toastmasters, go out. We definitely, when you want to come and join, we want you to know that this is the club for me. Not only that, we want to make sure you visit us 3 times before you say, I want to be a member. We definitely want you to come in and start working towards your goal of being a great leader and a communicator. So please take the time. I have put a welcome package inside the chat room. Please leave us your email address so we can stay in contact with you, so we can know and invite you to other events that's happening here at WAOs. Do anybody have any questions? Well, to all of my WAO members, definitely great jobs. Kudos go all around. I am still happy as president. Well done job like always. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Madam Vice President membership, to you and the membership committee. Job well done to you all as well. Thank you so much for Patricia making our guests feel welcome and giving them the opportunity to speak. I'm simply going to double check with Erin and make certain if Erin has returned, if she wanted to unmute and say any final thoughts about being able to see her mom today. Erin, I can see that you're speaking, but for some reason I can't hear you. No, I can't hear you now. I can't hear you now, but I can definitely, I think I might be able to read your lips. Yeah, I know you said that you were enjoying it. Yes, thank you. And I can tell you're about to put something inside of the chat box for us. Okay, perfect. We didn't want to end without giving you the opportunity to say something additional. And since we can't hear you through the microphone or whatever's going on with the audio there, we'll definitely capture your comment via the chat box. So thank you for that, Erin. Madam President, as Erin is putting her comments inside of the chat box, I wanted to at least turn the floor over to you. You're able to now make any announcements and do any final closeout comments regarding today's meeting. And I want to thank everyone again for being a part of our Pathways Breakfast Club Base Camp demonstration session. Madam President, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. Yes, as you were voluntold, go out and see other Toastmaster groups, see if you like those, and then come on back because we know you want some of this. You know you want to be here. Come on back home to where you belong. Now, for all of my official Toastmaster members now, I want to let you know that our district Director Joe McCarthy is inviting you next Saturday at 10:30 a.m. to our district, I always mess up this title, District Executive Committee meeting. Now, why are you being invited? Because it's almost the end of the club year, and it is time for you to start thinking about leadership roles. We know you want to be one of our directors, one of our area directors. We know you want to mentor a club or you want to be a coach. Don't wait until the last minute. Come on Saturday and see what it's all about. Don't wait until you look through pathways, but look through pathways anyway. Find out what leadership is all about by coming to the meeting next Saturday. Now, I will make sure that you will be sent the Zoom link so you can attend next Saturday. Did I say next Saturday? I meant next Saturday. Come out next Saturday. Also, I want you to see how our district leaders plan and strategize, organize, and build up this district so we can be the best district there is. And we can't do it without you. Come on. I got to do this all the time. Don't make me pull down my glasses. Okay, I plan to see you all next Saturday. Now, I think that is all the information that I have for you. We still have a few minutes left. Oh, I'm sorry. See, if it wasn't for Cassandra, I don't know how I could stay on engaged. Cassandra, what did I forget this time?
Well, Madam President, I appreciate you inviting everyone to the district event next Saturday, yet WAO also has an event next Saturday, and that is the membership committee. They are putting together that Phenomenal Woman Social Gallery event. It is an opportunity for all WAO members, not just the women of WAO, yet all WAO members who have a phenomenal woman in their life that they want to honor. The membership committee is asking you to submit a picture of them to Deborah Blackman Parrish. She will include it into the collage or into the presentation that they're working on, and we will be able to provide a 1 to 2 minute message about that phenomenal woman. And that will be Saturday. So the district executive committee meeting is in the morning, everyone. The WAO social event is in the evening from 5 to 7. We'll be certain to send out another message. And speaking of leadership also, Madam President, because we are in district leader mode, meaning we're looking for district leaders and we're looking for leaders also at the club level as well. So therefore, members, if you are interested in serving as an officer of WAO for next club year, be on the lookout that you will be receiving a phone call or an email or even a text message. Hey, it just depends upon what the nomination committee will do. We will be putting together exactly that, a nomination committee that will be reaching out to all of us, asking us to take on leadership roles for next year. If you're curious about those leadership roles, I ask you to go out to the WAO website. There is a page, and I'm going right now there so I can tell you exactly what it's called. There's a page on the WAO website called Club Officers for WAO. When you click on that page, it is going to give you access to the club leadership handbook, descriptions on all 7 club officer roles, and it'll allow you to prepare yourself to know what's involved with any officer role in which you may be curious about. And it will also be the page that the nomination committee will encourage you to actually refer to. Now, Madam President told you about district leader opportunities. I want you to also think about club leader opportunities. And it's usually best if you've served as a club leader before, start thinking outside of the club. If you've never served in a club before, don't do district leadership until you've done club leadership. So it's almost like a progression. So I think, Madam President, those are a few of the announcements regarding what we want to say. And I know Dee Marie Smith is probably calling everyone. I think the dues would be the final one. And I'll turn it over to Dee Marie in case she needs to say any final thing.
Good morning. Good afternoon. You know what time it is.
Is she making it rain?
Show me the money. It is dues renewal time, everyone. Cassandra has so politely sent us out emails reminding us where we can go to renew our membership. Please do so. We've had several members that have already renewed. Thank you so much for making my life easy. Yay. To all others, please feel free to go online to the WAO website. At the top of the page is probably line number 3 to remain a member. It is blue. Click and pay. Yay. If that does not work for you, please feel free. You can cash at me, you can text me, you can email me. We will make arrangements. I love to make life easy for you while you make life easy for me and remain a member. So please do so at any time between now and our next meeting, which is March 27th. But if all else fails, we do have until March 31st. But we do things decent and in order and on time, online. Yay. Thank you, Cassandra.
You're welcome, Madam Treasurer. That took us into the 21st century with that cash apping. And with that being said, Madam President, you can close us out.
Thank you very much, Madam VPE and Madam Treasurer. You see, wonderful people to help out. And I told you about Cassandra's voice, didn't I? See, I used to be shy. Then say Cassandra. Okay. Now, everyone, it has been a wonderful meeting. It was wonderful to see all of you and spend time with you. Now it is time for me to drop the gavel because we are.
Quick question. Are we gonna do the picture?
We are, El Darnell. She's adjourning the meeting so that way the guests can leave.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, so now I have to do it again. So now we are adjourned. Have a wonderful Saturday and a wonderful week and be spectacular.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank
Come
you,
on back home,
guests.
guests. Come on back home.
All right, WAO members, for those of you that want to be a part of the photo, we know that if you had on burgundy, if you had navy, if you had a background that you wanted to use, this is the time to go ahead and position yourself. I'm going to send a text message to Sporty and to Dushan. I think they both wanted to pop in for it. So I just sent one to Sporty. Okay. And I am sending one right now to Dushan. And nice backgrounds, by the way. Emily, I saw your background. Anita, I saw you switched your background too. And look at Deborah. Deborah, you got all fancy. It looks like you got a touchable wall behind you, like all suede and sexy.
I got all that from Dushan with playing around with backgrounds and stuff.
Oh, I need that help.
There you go. Okay, let's see. I know Dushan is wrapping up his youth leadership event. It almost sounds like they might still be going on. Just wanted to let him know.
What, this place?
Right here.
Yeah, I'm trying. I got this light. I can't get away from it.
Okay. And then I see Dee Marie took herself off camera. Hey, Valerie Robinson. Hey. All right, Charmaine. See you later.
Cassandra.
Hey.
Hi, Valerie.
Hi,
How are
Dee
you?
Marie.
It's nice to see you.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Okay, I'm down because I don't think nobody wants to see my kitchen. You all have a great Saturday. I love you all. Bye, family.
Oh, see you later, Dee Marie. Bye.
Later.
Hey, Sporty, I see you just got in, got the background switched. Good. Jerome, I like how you not only doing the Toastmaster blue, but you got the Illini orange as well. You know, if Kareem was here, I'm sure he would have picked up on that. Hey, Emily, don't you also have a connection to U of I as well?
Yes, I went to graduate school there.
There you go. When were you there?
2005 to 2008.
You might have been there when Kareem was there. Okay. Yep. Look at that. So look at that. And Becky, you were there too at U of I? You're on mute, Becky.
I was there at the Chicago campus and also Champaign-Urbana.
Okay, cool. Look at that. Yay. Yay.
My two guests, Ann and Gataya, they're from the University of Illinois, Chicago campus. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. They're doing a study on where I grew up. They just received a $5,000 grant to continue their study.
Wow.
Yeah. They've been doing this for now about 7 years.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's so cool.
All right, let's do it.
Cool. All right, Tale, are you just about ready? I see you're adjusting your camera there.
I'm getting too much light everywhere I go.
Well, wherever you are right now, that's almost seeming okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we can see you there. Good. All right, and Patricia, you're all good. I can see you there. All right, everyone. So my intent is to take at least 3 pictures. So I'm going to make certain I tell you each time beforehand, so that way you'll know to smile, to get ready. Okay, let me make sure my lock is out the way. Okay, cool. All right, everyone, here is the first one. On a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Yay. Okay, that was in honor of Dee Marie, who had to step away. So let me get that picture captured. Okay, I am positioning myself to come back in and take the second one. All right, everyone, here's picture number 2. Make sure my little chain is in place. Good. All right. Picture number 2, everyone. This one. 1, 2, 3. Yay. Got that one? All right, I'm positioning this one so I can have it. Might have to crop some things, but that's all right. All right, getting myself together. This is the very last photo, everybody. Thank you all so much for sticking around and for doing this. Now, if you wanted to do any other poses or whatever the case, you can feel free to do so. But this is the last one. This is the 1. And this is the 2. And here we go. 3, yay. Got the WAO. Awesome. We got burgundy and navy pom-poms. Are you kidding me, Madam President? Where the heck you get that prop from? That is clever.
The glam baby.
The glam baby. Oh, look at the glam baby. Yes, good. All right, everyone. Well, I'm definitely going to pick the one that is showing everyone smiling, showing everyone looking good. So that will be the one that we'll put in, and we send it in this weekend. So it has to be in by the 19th. So I'll send it in today. Thank you guys so much. It was fun. It was wonderful. Thank you. Oh, wait a minute. Here's Dushan. He's trying to come.
ULAT.
Okay, here's the picture. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Awesome. All right, everybody. Y'all have a good weekend.
Stay blessed. Stay safe.
You too. Bye-bye.
Later.
Bye-bye. Cool.